D58, Chris. One more. All good. And we are done with the raffle. Thank you to everyone who bought a raffle ticket. And we are going to draw the Big Gay Couch Experience. And we've got A35, Juju, for the Big Gay Couch Experience. Woohoo! All right. Is that all we have to do? Do you want to do that one?
So we're not too far off from getting a start with this game between the Westside Roller Derby and the Nerdy Dragons. All the skaters are on track, they're ready to go, the refs are in position. So hopefully it's not too long. Game 4 on today's program. Of course, coming up after this game, we have a low contact game for skaters who are not quite for the bouting level. So the up and coming skaters, if you will. So hopefully we're not too far off from getting this one underway. Bussy, the Vampire Slayer. Bussy, if you are still somewhere in the building, can you make your way inside and into the middle or to the announcer's desk? Bussy, the Vampire Slayer, if you're still with us, can you make your way back inside? Do not try this at home. These are highly trained athletes, they know what they're doing. So with that whistle, we get this one underway. Jams, pack rather slowly making its way through turn number 1. Number 19, that's Spag jamming for the Nerdy Dragons, getting on through, picking up lead jammer. Of course, that's Club Slamwich. 109 jamming for Westside. Westside in the blue, black and pink. Nerdy Dragons in the black and orange. And Pat then slowly coming through turns 3 and 4. Instructions from the bench to call it off, and that's exactly what happens. So the Nerdy Dragons open their account with just the 1 point. It could be a very handy 1 point at the end of the game. So Tripitaka then jamming for Westside. And Keza Kaboom jamming for the Nerdy Dragons. So Trippy calling that one off. Get this one underway. So Smiling Assassin then jamming for West Side. Wasting no time getting on through, picking up lead jammer. And of course 1208 Smackaron jamming for the Nerdy Dragons. Nice hat. Pack then coming through slowly off of turn number 2 down the back straight away. Smiling Assassin putting the points on the board for West Side as the pack now comes through off of turn number 4 down the front straight away. And the West Side defense go to work. And Smiling Assassin seen enough and calls it off. Not before putting 8 points on the board for West Side. And a further 3 points in for the Nerdy Dragons. They move along to 4. West Side currently on 16. So it is Murderface and jamming for West Side. Up against Smackaron again, jamming for the Nerdy Dragons. It's going to be a power jam start for Murderface, wasting no time. Lead jammer West Side. And the pack happy just to sit on the entry point into turn number 1. The defense then of the Nerdy Dragons go to work on trying to hold up Murderface for as long as possible. So just the 2 blockers in for Murderface to negotiate now. Just the 1 KTKO who's going to show you how it's done. Oh, Murderface so gets through. Lead jammer going the way of West Side. Again, Murderface just getting on through, adding another 4 points to the West Side total. So the star pass then successfully completed for KTKO, but to no avail. Murderface knew exactly what was going on and called that off. Not before adding another 12 points on the board for West Side. They move along nicely now to 28. And Nerdy Dragons still on 4. So Club at Slamwich getting on through. Lead jammer West Side. Nice big wind up there from 818. That's Dolly for the Nerdy Dragons. So the pack's now coming through now into the back straightaway, but Club Slamwich has seen enough and called it off. Tripitaka then the jammer for West Side, up against Kesa Kapow jamming for the Nerdy Dragons. nicely done to the inside part of turn 1. Tripitaka, lead jammer. Pack now makes its way down the back straightaway. Both teams happy to go defense. And some big hits here along the way as well. So early stages of this first half, Westside 43, Nerdy Dragons on 4. Smiling Assassin in jamming for Westside, Smacker on jamming for Nerdy Dragons. As both teams are more than happy to go very much defensive coming into turn number 1, making it awfully hard for either jammer rather to get on through, but Smacker on making the best of a bad situation, gets on through, lead jammer, Nerdy Dragons. So it is then Spag jamming for Nerdy Dragons, wasting no time getting through the pack. Jets are well and truly on. Murderface jamming for Westside. Got just the two blockers out front to try and negotiate. And KTKO and Psycho giving Murderface plenty to do coming off of turn number 2. Oh, this is outstanding blocking from the Nerdy Dragons. Psycho and KTKO just know exactly what to do. Unfortunately though for Psycho, picking up a direction of gameplay penalty. Now it releases Murderface. So it is in Keza Kapow jamming for the Nerdy Dragons. Takes a bit of a tumble in the turn number 2, but gets back up, no problems at all. And 109 Club at Slamwich. Jamming for Westside, but that one was called off. No points being added to either total. Nerdy Dragons on 6, Westside on 42. 43. So we have Smacker on jamming for the Nerdy Dragons up against Tripitaka. Jamming for Westside, and Tripitaka wasting no time, gets on through, lead jammer Westside. Smacker on them with it all to do on the main straightaway as the West Side defence go to work. That's not facing Tripitaka too much, getting on through, picking up 4 points. There's a pack now slowly making its way into turn number 1. Again, just finding a nice little gap there in between the two opposing blockers. Tripitaka gets on through. It's another 4 points. West side blockers giving Smacker on plenty to think about. Ace. Ace of Sage putting up some nice blocking and nice defense work there on KTKO on that previous pass. And no sooner had the star pass been completed, sadly for KTKO, Tripitaka was more than aware of what was going on and called it off. So Smiling Assassin then for Westside. Nicely done, bit of footwork there on the inside part of the main straightaway. Getting on through Lee Jammer. Number 2-2, Argy Bargy. Jamming for the first time in this game for the Nerdy Dragons. Trying to find a gap on the outside part of turn 4 there for Argy Bargy. It's not going to happen. Ace of Shades shutting that one down. And it's not stopping Smiling Assassin too much. Skating on through, getting some more points to add to the West Side total, the ever-growing West Side total. Pack now coming through turn number 2. Some good defense there from both teams as they made their way down the back straightaway. So a nice little 12-point jam there for Westside, moving them along to 79. Nerdy Dragons picking up a few points as well. They move along to 10. Jamming for the Nerdy Dragons, we have Spag. Jamming for Westside, it is Tripitaka. There's a pack now, it's got a little bit of speed about it, coming down the back straight away. So just the 1 point then for the Nerdy Dragons. sees them on 11. So Club Slam Witch jamming for Westside, getting on through, lead jammer. And Kesa Kapow, the jammer for the Nerdy Dragons. Nice hit. Kesa Kapow taken out to the outside part of turn 2, but Recycle back on track. Nice hit there from 818 Dolly on Club Slam, which to Recycle almost back into turn number 2, but it's a pack now slowly making its way through turn number 3. Both teams then defensively just slowing things down and really trying to make life as difficult as possible for the two jammers. Club Slammage getting on through then, adding another 4 points to West Side. So star passing successfully completed for the Nerdy Dragons. Unfortunately, Dolly, the recipient of the star, not going to make any impact then on the scoreboard. So it is 91 West Side, 11 Nerdy Dragons, and we've got just on 10 minutes remaining in this first half. So Murderface it is then, the jammer for West Side. Met solidly by KTKO on that previous pass, but Murderface more than up for the challenge. This pack now is slowly making its way through turn number 2. Murderface continues to put points on the board for West Side. As we have our first team timeout for the game. Nerdy Dragons have called a timeout. 8 points for West Side on that previous jam. Moves them over the 100 mark, 103 playing 11. we get this one back underway. Smiling Assassin jamming for Westside. Looks like we have Argy Bargy jamming for the Nerdy Dragons. Just a one more blocker out front. Matty Longlegs giving Argy Bargy plenty to think about. Nice defensive work there by Matty Longlegs on the back straightaway. Meanwhile, all that was going on. Smiling Assassin picking up another 4 points. Nice move in from Smiling Assassin on the previous pass, coming out of turns 3 and 4, adding yet another 4 points to the West Side, the growing West Side total. So the pack then just coming through turn number 4. And the West Side blockers giving Argy Bargy plenty to think about. Unfortunately for Hurl Scout, the star pass is not going to have any effect. So number 19, Spag. Lead jammer for Nerdy Dragons. Off to the races, gets through the pack nice and quick. Lead jammer, Nerdy Dragons. Tripitaka, jammer for Westside. So number 10, KTKO jamming. Oh, big hit then into turn number 2. Club slam, which the jammer then for Westside. A little bit of work to do, but manages to find a way through the outside part of turn number 4. Club slam, which doing what needs to be done while the opposing jammers serves a penalty. But whilst all that was going on, KTKO has been released back on track. And wastes no time getting back to the pack and trying to get some points on the board. But fair to say, KTKO has been met solidly by three West Side blockers who are hell-bent on making sure we have an official timeout. So we've got just on a little over 3 minutes remaining in this first half. It is 142 West Side, 23 Nerdy Dragons. Referees are going to have a little bit of a chat in the middle there. So we get this one underway. And just like that, Trippy Taka for West Side out and through lead jammer. A nice bit of footwork to the inside part of turn one. Trippy Taka, 4 more points. It's a power jam then for West Side to start this jam off. Unfortunately for the Nerdy Dragons, KTKO spending some time in the penalty box. And just like that, KTKO back now on track now after being released out of the said penalty box. That's not facing Trippy Taka too much though. Trippy Taka doing Trippy Taka things, and that's putting points on the board, and lots of them as the pack slowly coming through turns 1 and 2. Oh, nicely done to the inside part of turn 1 and 2 there from Trippy Taka previously. It's just another 4 more points being added to West Side. As West Side blockers now look to they look to try and make some gaps for Trippy Taka to come on to, but Trippy's had enough and called it off. So it is Smiling Assassin then jamming for West Side. Nice bit of defensive work there from Keza Kapow, number 95 from the Nerdy Dragons, just knocking Smiling Assassin out to the outside part of turn 1. KTKO again, the jammer for the Nerdy Dragons. Just trying to find a way through, successfully so on the outside of turn 2. So the initial pass then for KTKO all done. It's now it's about trying to put some points on the board. But 162 for Westside. Florence the Machine doing all the defensive work on KT back on turn number 3 and making sure that there was no points going to be scored. So that whistle then brings us to the half time in this game between Westside and the Nerdy Dragons. Westside 166, the Nerdy Dragons on 27. We're going to take a short 14-minute break. Stretch your legs, grab something to eat, grab a drink, and we'll be back shortly to get the second half underway. So not too far off getting a start on the second half of this game between Westside and the Nerdy Dragons. Just an announcement. All the black and white skaters participating in the next game, can you make your way over to the entranceway? All the black and white skaters who are taking part in the low contact scrimmage or low contact game, if you could make your way over to the court entrance, that would be muchly appreciated. Westside Glory skaters making their way out on track. Nerdy Dragons skaters making their way out on track. So we have Spag then jamming for the Nerdy Dragons. Up against, I think it's 333 Slasher. Indeed, it is 333 Slasher jamming for Westside, but getting on through, picking up lead jammer on the previous pass was Spag for the Nerdy Dragons. Picking up 4 points on that previous pass and that pass. Spag it is then for the Nerdy Dragons. Pack now coming through into turn number 4. 333 Slasher for Westside being released from the penalty box, making their way back now out on track. And straight away being met by the defense of KTKO and Co. So the pack now slowly making its way through to turn number 2. 333 Slasher being held up there nicely by KTKO. At the back of the pack, 1-9 Spag. Just trying to find a way through the defense of Westside. So handy jam that for the Nerdy Dragons on the previous jam. They've moved along to 39. Westside still on 166. So Club Slamwich then jamming for Westside, picking up lead jammer status. And Smacker on jamming for the Nerdy Dragons. Smacker on at the front of the pack then with the 3 Westside blockers. Pack then coming into turn number 3 and Club Slamwich getting through nicely for another 4 points. Nice bit of defense there from Maddie Longlegs. Just taking down Argy Bargy there on turn number 3. But that one's been called. So it is another 8 points in for Westside, moving them along to 174. 4 points for the Nerdy Dragons. They move along to 43. So jam number 3 for the second half gets underway. Smiling Assassin for Westside Roller Derby out front, and lead jammer. We have 9-5 Keza Kapow jamming for the Nerdy Dragons. Pack now moving on through the back straight away into turn number 3. Nice move by Smiling Assassin on that last pass, getting through on the outside of turn number 3, making it look nice and easy. Anything but. So it's another 4 points there for Smiling Assassin. Westside Roller Derby. The scoreline just keeps on growing and growing. The pack now slowly coming through turn number 1. Nice 19-point jam there for Smiling Assassin. Moving Westside onto 193. Nerdy Dragons on 43 as we get jam number 4 underway. Trippy Taka it is then jamming for Westside. Gets on through nicely to the outside part of turn number 2. Does Trippy Taka lead jammer Westside. Just grabbing a handful of points there. Trippy Taka before calling it off. So number 333 Slasher then for Westside. Getting on through and picking up lead jammer. Smacker on jamming for the Nerdy Dragons. Slasher just trying to find a way through the Nerdy Dragons defense. Pretty hard task when you're met with KT KO. Unfortunately though for Slasher, it's a trip to the penalty box. And with that, lead jammer has been lost. So this one's going to run its full 2 minutes. As Smackaron then gets released back onto the track out of the penalty box. The pack now just making its way around about the midpoint of the main straightaway, slowly now making its way into turn number 1. And Smackaron with plenty to do. Some nice blocking out front. Massacre Jones, intensive clear unit. Murderface just to join in and make it even more difficult. So just the 8 points in for Westside, but with that 8 points, it moves them over the 200 mark, 204, playing at 43. As we get this one underway, and Club Slamwich racing on through and picking up lead jammer. Pack now got a bit of a speed coming off of turn number 4. So jam number 7 gets underway. Smiling Assassin again gets on through. Lead jam on west side. And of course, jamming for the Nerdy Dragons, it is 666. Hurl Scout. Finding a way through the pack nicely, Hurl Scout on that previous pass. Scout had seen enough and called it off, not before grabbing another 5 points to add to the west side total. There's jam number 8 is underway. Unfortunately for the Nerdy Dragons, 1-9, that Spag has been sent to the penalty box. Nice little lateral jump across track, Trippy Taka, west side, and lead jammer. It's also going to be a power jam then for Trippy Taka. And the blocker advantage momentarily going the way of west side, although blockers for Nerdy Dragons have been released. Also being released back out on track is Spag for the Nerdy Dragons. an official timeout. Just correcting a few things from the, looks like on the penalty box side. Just make sure everything that should be noted has been noted and everything all aligns. So we get this one back underway. It is then 3-3-3 Slasher jamming for Westside. 8-1-8 Dolly for Nerdy Dragons. Doing a fantastic job out front. It's a pack now slowly coming into turn number 2. And Slasher having a tough old time trying to bust through the defense of 8-1-8. That's Dolly. Same could be said at the back of the pack. Smacker on 12-08 for the Nerdy Dragons. Facing a similar set of circumstances with the Westside blockers. Ace of Sage there, along with Massacre Jones there, also doing all the defensive things. So the star pass then successfully completed for the Nerdy Dragons for KTKO. And this time around KT makes it work, picking up some points after that star pass. We then have Smiling Assassin jamming for Westside, just trying to find a way through on the inside part of turn 1. Made it successfully through. Number 9-5, Kezika Powell, jamming for the Nerdy Dragons. So the initial pass then for Smiling Assassin's all done. Smiling Assassin now looking to try and put some points on the board. And Kezika Powell also through the pack, but not going to make a difference to the scoreline for the Nerdy Dragons. They still remain on 47, and Westside move along to 229. So it is jam number 11 in the second half. Underway, 3-3-3, Slasher. Jamming for Westside. Jamming for Nerdy Dragons, it is Hurl Scout. Nice bit of footwork there from Slasher coming off of turn number 1. As the pack comes through turn number 2, but Slasher had seen what had happened with the star pass and thought, no, not today. So just the 4 points then added to Westside. They currently sit on 233 and the Nerdy Dragons on 47. So we then have Trippy Taka jamming for Westside up against Spag. Jamming for the Nerdy Dragons, but getting on through nice and quick is Trippy Taka. Oh, nice bit of... That's an excellent bit of skating there from Trippy Taka, showing all the skill there and balance. Getting turned around on one skate and skating backwards is not an easy thing to master. So we then have Keza Kapow jamming for Nerdy Dragons. And Club Slamwich jamming for Westside. Club Slamwich is the lead jammer. We're going to have another official timeout. The referees are all having a bit of a chat in the middle there, so something has been brought to their attention that they want to have a discussion about to make sure that everyone's on the same page. So let's get this back up and running. Smiling Assassin again getting on through for Westside, lead jammer. Smackaron that is jamming in for the Nerdy Dragons as the pack comes through into turn number 2. The Nerdy Dragons defense out the front, trying to make life as difficult as they could for Smiling Assassin, but Smiling Assassin having none of it, gets on through. KTKO trying every trick in the book there to get the cut track on Smiling Assassin, but Smiling Assassin was more than up for the challenge of not getting a cut track. And with that comes 4 points. So the star pass has been successfully completed. Argy Bargy to recognise Jammer, but all to no avail. Sadly for the Nerdy Dragons, as Westside were more than aware with what was going on, and called the jam off, and also adding another 12 points, I think, for their total. So with that whistle, we get jam number 15 underway. It is then Hurl Scout jamming for the Nerdy Dragons up against Slasher. Jamming for Westside. Both jammers having a bit of a tough old time trying to navigate their way through the pack to get out front and become a lead jammer. Out the front with it all to do, Hurl Scout just been held up by the Westside blockers, Liz Vegas, Murderface, Intensive Clear unit, all doing what needs to be done to hold up the Nerdy Dragons jammer. So at the back of the pack, Ace of Sage, Liz Vegas giving Hurl Scout plenty to think about as the pack now finally makes its way through turns 3 and 4. Now, what we are seeing here, everybody, does not happen all that often. There is no identified lead jammer. Yes, there is. Right at the absolute death. Wow. One. Not often do you see a jam run its full 2 minutes and we don't have a jammer recognised as a lead jammer, but we did in that case, even if it was at the very death. So it is then Tripitaka and Spag, the two jammers out on track. Tripitaka finding a nice little passage through on the inside part of turn 1, gets on through, picks up lead jammer. It's fair to say absolutely Jets are on, gets on through to the pack. Initial pass is done and dusted. Point scoring pass is done and dusted. 4 points, calls it, that'll do. So Club Sandwich jamming for Westside. And it looks like Keza Kapow jamming for the Nerdy Dragons. Oh, nice hit there from KTKO on Club Sandwich to the inside part of the main, or the back straightaway rather. And getting on through at the front of the pack. Nice job by Keza Kapow on that previous jam, coming off of turn number 4. Just on 3 minutes 20 remaining in this game. Comfortable lead for Westside, 2:58, playing the Nerdy Dragons on 47. So a team timeout being called by the Nerdy Dragons. I'll have a minute or so, just have a bit of a chat. So we get jam number 18 underway. It is Smiling Assassin jamming for West Side. Unfortunately for Smiling Assassin, it's a penalty. So that leaves 12:08. That's Slamazon for... Sorry, Smackaron, I should say. Not Slamazon, Smackaron. Jamming for the Nerdy Dragons, but unfortunately, Smackaron has also picked up a penalty. The Smiling Assassin then released back out onto the track. And just like that, just takes a nice line to the outside part of turn 3, gets on through. Smackaron thought to do a little bit of jammer on jammer action down here in turn number 2, but not really sort of working out. Smiling Assassin, meanwhile, putting another 4 points on the West Side total. So the pack then at the midpoint of the main straightaway, slowly moving on down through into turn 1. Doesn't phase Smiling Assassin too much. It's just another 4 points being added to the West Side total. And that's now turned into a power jam, unfortunately, for Smackaron visiting the penalty box. So 16 points added to South Sea's West Side rather. I'm getting confused, it's late. It's been a long day. West Side currently sit on 274 with the Nerdy Dragons on 47. As we get this jam number 19 underway. 3-3-3 it is, and Slusher jamming for West Side. Unfortunately for Slasher, it's a penalty. So a visit to the penalty box then. Smackaron jamming for the Nerdy Dragons. As the pack slowly comes through into turn number 2. Slasher then released out of the penalty box, returns back on track. So as this one's about to wind down, Slasher out front for Westside, just doing what has to be done, and that is scoring points. Both benches are now on their feet. It's 4 more points then being added to Westside's total. As the pack kind of finds itself stuck in turn number 3. Unfortunately, Slasher picking up a penalty. And this one runs its full 2 minutes. We do have an unofficial final score. The Jammer refs will just make sure that everything's all A-OK before we get the rolling whistle. So that rolling whistle then brings an end to this game between Westside, the victors of 281, up against the Nerdy Dragons, and they finish on 47. So both teams just coming together momentarily to have a bit of a chat. So I think the skaters are just waiting to come around and do a bit of a victory lap. Indeed they are. Come on down to the side of the track, one and all. Give up a high five to these two awesome teams. They really do appreciate all the support. So it is led off then by the Nerdy Dragons. We have number 1, 0 KTKO, 1208 Smackaron, 1-6 Solid Rage, 1-9 Spag. Number 2-2 Argy Bargy, number 3-7 Mayhem, number 6-5 Kitty Kaboom, number 6-6-6 Hurl Scout, number 7-7 Crackerjack, 8-1-8 Dolly, 8-2 Sparks Arai, 8-6 Razorbeck, 9-0 Psycho, 9-5 Kesa Kapow. And for Westside, it is number 0 Maddie Longlegs, 101 Ace of Sage, number 333 Slasher, number 108 Tripitaka, 109 Club Slam Witch, 162 Florence the Machine, 17 Liz Vegas, 212 Intensive Claire Unit, number 44 Revan Townsend, number 460 Murderface, 531 Smiling Assassin, number 74 Chuka, number 89 Massacre Jones, the two teams. That's me done and dusted for this afternoon. There is one more game to round off today's action. Of course, it's the black and white low contact game for skaters who are not quite bouting level. They'll be taken to the track very, very shortly. My name's been JR. It's been great commentating this afternoon's round 3 statewide Stampede action. And I look forward to catching up with you all very, very shortly.